Aranda. He is an award-winning author. His prose and poetry have been anthologized internationally. He's the author of Full Deck, Joker's Playing, and Seasons by the Bay. He has been an educator for over 40 years lang naman. Mas matanda pa sa akin. In 2012, we received the Gawad Alagad ni po, Pambansang Alagad ni Balagtas from the Union ng mga Mayon sa Pilipinas. Kami po yun. After we met him in San Francisco.
Ako po'y pinanganak sa Leyte. Waray-waray ako. Tapos pumunta ako rito sa Maynila when I was 5 years old. Dito ako natuto ng Tagalog at English at the same time. Until now, I still remember all three perfectly. So, you can talk to me in any of those languages. I'm glad to be here at last, returning to my roots, to give whatever little gifts I have to you who was once like me. All right, thank you for being here. Thank you for having me. I didn't know it was the first festival pala. When I found out it was the first festival, so I know that many things are being tried for the first time, but surprisingly, it's all very successful. It's all coming together very well. Gustong-gusto ko yung mga iba-ibang klaseng mga guest artist nila. Kaya yung dalawang German, si Michelle, yung silversmith. Parang gusto ko na rin mag-attend nun pero hindi ako pwede kasi meron din akong workshop na writing. No? At I like the idea na ang mga estudyante ay magpe-perform. So, they do something. Hindi lang tuturuan sila pero the actual product will be coming from them, and at the end of the workshop session, they will be producing that product. So in my session, writing, they will have some plays and music and dance put together from their poems. You know, sila ang bahala kung how they're going to put it together. I'll just facilitate and guide them. They're wonderful. I like them. Tsaka gustong-gusto ko yung the respect they had for respect itself. You know, maraming sinasabing si ate this, si kuya this, you know, grade lower than other grades. They have their own, I guess, system of respect that mirrors the system of respects of the country. You know, the older folks get a little respect from the other ones. And I also like their, hindi nila pinababayaan, you know, the older people always gets the younger people involved. O kung minsan sila na ang sumasaway, hindi na ako, sila lang. So the class itself maintains its own discipline. I hardly have to do anything really, and then they're very excited when I give them an activity and I let them go. Oh, they all participate right away. You know? Galing.
One of the things that interests me is his emphasis on imagery, and I like imagery because sanay ako sa poetry, and with him emphasizing that I need imagery in my poems, parang that helped me to realize na it's not all about feelings or emotions. It's really about conveying an image that the readers can hold on to.
He gives us 5 minutes to write po. So it really enables a student to write in the most impromptu way possible. I really valued po the fact that the teacher introduced us to a lot of poets po, both from this country and internationally po.
Well, as a writer, I try to impress upon them that everybody is a writer. It's just that some do it with words, you know. But everybody has their own art expression in their own way. It's just that writers like me do it with words. And the most important thing is for the teacher to touch the spirit of the student. Because you cannot teach him anything unless you touch the spirit, unless that student give himself to you and admits that, sige, I will learn from this guy, you know. Because many students are unwilling to learn from some teachers. Hindi mo na matuturuan yun. So you need to find a way to connect with them and have them express themselves the way they are and make them feel good about the way they are. You know? Many of you are writers already. You just have not put them in words. Look for teachers and mentors and peers who will help you put them in words. If they don't, they probably will not be much help for you as writers. In short, if you breathe, you already are writers. You already are poets. To be a good one, however, that's a different story. No? I will read you this poem that tells you all about the poet that is in you. I am not the dawn nor the dusk. I am not you, nor he, nor she, nor they. I am the one who stands between you and all the dawns and dusks of time. Sleepless like a snake coiled, dying like leaves of autumn. I am the poet in you. Do not deny me. I devastate all. I didn't know that I like writing until maybe I was third year high school. But I know I always liked stories. I always liked words. I listened to my mother, to my aunties, mga kwento ng mga kapitbahay ko, sa radyo, si Lola Basyang, malit pa ako. I love those stories. So those are the themes, social justice, underdogs, yung mga hidden things na not too many people know about, unheralded heroes, mga ganon, when they, halimbawa, did you ate some fruits today, no? What fruits did you eat? Apple, banana? Sino nag-pick ng mga fruits na yun? Kundi magsasaka. Where are their stories? Where are their songs? That's what I want to write about. I have an older brother who I'm glad checked me and asked me these questions as I was growing up to be a writer. Of course, I didn't know I was going to be a writer. Oscar, why do you keep writing those poems? What use are those poems? What use are they to society? Like me, sabi niya sa akin, I'm an engineer. I build bridges. I help society cross from one place to another. But what does a poem do? Does that cure anything? No. It took me a while to answer him, so I said, yes, you might build the bridges, but it's me who tell people why they cross the bridges. It's me. It's people like me who tell the people why they don't like to cross the bridge, why they stop in the middle of the bridge, why they jump off or not jump off the bridge. Me and me alone who can tell the society why this is so. So everybody has a role. To be a good writer, that's a different story. You need to do certain things. The other side of writing is reading. Dapat kayo magbabasa. Kasi pag hindi kayo nagbabasa, mahihirapan kayo sa school. If you fall in love with reading and you're a reader, you have no worries of getting good grades. So it's always reading is the key. You can't write without reading, so you have to read. I read constantly. And then when you write, you have to, sooner or later, you have to learn, just like kung maging ina ka o maging ama, you have to let your children go. Once you write a story or tula, you have to let it go. Go to the next one. Kasi if you keep revisiting that, parang mo papalitan, you're gonna get stuck with that. You have to let it go. Go write another one. You have to realize the inadequacy of words. Kasi yung mga salita lang, all you have, the only tools you have as a writer are words. That's the only thing you have. So you will soon realize na hindi talaga ma-capture ng words, the inadequacy of words, and then you have to submit to that, and at the same time apply the best talents that you have to rise above the challenge. Because you have a vision to capture, and you only have words to do it. And you capture that vision. At the same time, you tell the truth, and at the same time, you move as powerful as you can the audience that reads it. What is the difference between a novel, a short story, and a poem? Those are three different genres. Some people write poems, some people like a story, some like to start a novel. But I think I had a teacher when I was your age who explained it to me this way. You imagine that you are on this path, on this road, but the road is not made of cement or stones or earth. The road is made only of words. You walk on a block of these streets of words until you come to the garden with a gate. You open the gate and enter, continuing on this path of words. You see a garden and enter the garden. In the garden, you stand there and at last behold the blooming of the sampaguita or the lotus. The novel is the whole way from the street to the gate, to the garden, to the blooming of the flower. The short story from the garden gate to the blooming, and the poem concentrates on the focused experience of the blooming of the sampaguita. Whether consciously or not, you have to be a good observer. If you sit in one place, miski walang nangyayari, maraming nangyayari. Kung talagang manunulat, even if I'm just sitting watching everybody, there's really a lot of things happening if you're a good observer.
So I wanted to remind you that you write, not just by writing words, you write by listening, you write by smelling, by hearing stories, by observing people and situations. I wanted to sort of warn you that for those of you who are writers or who are going to be writers, I don't want you to write something that will propagate misconceptions. These are partial truths. They're half-truths. They become distortions. And if you want to be a writer, you must write the truth. You can't write falsehood. You can't write advertisements, commercials, and propaganda like we have on many of our channels. No? You do not have to be factual. I don't mean truth to be factual. But you must be truthful. For sometimes, in fact all the time, you must invent to get and give out a larger truth. So when that guy said 2 times 2 makes 4, it's wonderful, and 2 times 2 makes 5, that's wonderful too. Alam mo naman na there are many things in life that doesn't make sense, but it's true. People who are the biggest thieves, yung pinakamilaking magnanakaw sa buong mundo, yung mga mayayaman, hindi yung mahihirap. It should be that the hungriest people should be the one who steals the most, but no, we know that it's the richest people who steals the most. Why? I don't know. But sometimes people hurt people, they kill people, not because they hate, but because they love too much. You know, this is true also. It doesn't make sense, but this must also be told. No? That's what I mean, but when you have to write, you have to write the truth. To combat all these false notions, these misconceptions that I talked about, the #1 antidote against it is to read the literature of the people who live there. Don't see these movies that are commercial, and those people there don't even live at the places that they talk about. Read the literature of the people who live there if you want to know how life is in that place. So literature is the #1 antidote. But there was once a village town that was surrounded by other villages. Somehow, the other villages did not know about the small town. They were caught and captive in anonymity, and they didn't know how to get out of it. One day, a stranger came to this town, knocks on the door. Townsperson opened the door and sees this tall, dark stranger, handsome, attractive stranger, and says, "Who are you?" The stranger says, "I am the story. I am the story." And because the guy was attractive and pleasant, the village person says, "Come on in," and welcome the stranger. And everywhere the stranger went in that town, he was always welcome because he was pleasant, entertaining, attractive, so they all welcomed him. And they asked the strangers to stay longer, but the stranger said, "I cannot stay long in one place. I have to go from place to place in this town because my destiny has told me that it is in this town that I can fulfill my destiny. I'm looking for someone that I've never seen before, but if I see that someone, I will surely recognize that someone." Everywhere the stranger walked, he was welcomed. All the roads were open to him. All the houses were open to him. One strange and mysterious day, a second stranger came to town. Knocks on the door. The village person opens the door and says, "Who are you?" In front of him was a person not as attractive as the first one, a little bit disconcerting. He saw some parts that he didn't like to see, and so naturally, the person says, "I am the truth. Can I come in?" The townsperson said, No way. I can't look at you. I don't know how to feel when you're around. I cannot let you in." So he closes the door on the second stranger. The second stranger goes from door to door. Everywhere he went, or everywhere the stranger went, she went, because she was a woman. Everywhere she went, she was not welcome. Until the townspeople told the first stranger, "There is another stranger here that we cannot seem to get rid of. We don't want to let her in So when the first stranger was brought to the second stranger, the first stranger right away, he saw the second stranger and said, hey, that is the person I've been waiting for and looking for all my life. That is the person that is my destiny for me to find here. That is my twin sister. And we twins know, even though we haven't seen each other, we know where we belong to each other. So the townspeople, because the first stranger was so nice and asked for the second stranger, they welcomed the second stranger. And from then on, the second stranger and the first stranger walked hand in hand all over the town, and they were welcomed. All the roads opened to them. Because whether the first stranger was, the second stranger was, they were always together. That's why today, if you ever hear a story, you will know that there is a truth in that story. There is no story without the truth. And vice versa, if you hear a truth, you will find out that behind it, there is a story. So please, remember, like my friend Al Robles, the one who wrote the 1,000 Filipino song, he said, when a banker dies, that's it, he's dead. When a lawyer dies, he's dead, that's it. But when a poet dies, the poet's words live on forever. So if in the beginning was the Word, remember, in the end, it still remains the Word. Thank you. I don't know if I should count my third grade teacher, Miss Trinidad, as my first love. But definitely, what I remember clearly was my crush on my sixth grade classmate, Leonore. I was soon leaving for America. I remember 2 or 3 others in Philippine Normal Elementary School who were prettier and more popular, but Leonore was like a Christmas card to me. Something in her carriage of herself, so lightsome, so confident and intelligent in a quiet way, and conscious of other people's needs. She must be an ate, I said to myself. Mother, older sister, sweetheart, all in one. And the way she moved, so subtle and graceful and natural. Her face was not strikingly beautiful, but her skin was spotless, and at times she wore her hair in pigtails, and at other times it hung long and loose, and yet at other times in a ponytail. I remember one day I followed her all the way to her home in Pandacan. Parang I was a stalker. I stalked, when you're young, you stalk people. I was stalking her, skipping puddles, jumping fences, going under stairways, and stepping around ditches. When I caught up with her, I had to confess. I followed you from school, Leonore. And where you stopped by the church to pray, I followed there too. I have been following you everywhere, I said. I was sort of huffing and puffing. What? She said. I was leaving soon for America and was feeling intense and desperate from what I did not know. Yes, now I know the jeepney you take to Pandacan. I followed you in the jeepney too, I said. Well, I hope you have money to get back home. It's going to get dark soon, she said. I didn't tell her I did not pay for the jeep that followed her. I just jumped out when she had gotten off. I also didn't want to tell her that I don't intend to pay for the jeepney going home. It's going to get dark soon, she repeated. Not for me, I said. Things will be brighter for me for a while. I know you're going to America, huh? She said. Yep, but that's not what I mean. When are you going to America? She asked. Soon, before you know it. When I saw you coming down your stairs with your bakya, with your wooden shoes from your home into the tight streets of Pandacan, when I saw how you descended those steps, I knew it was you. And I felt like your home became my home, your neighborhood, my neighborhood. What steps? What tight street? What are you talking about? She said. I guess I'm trying to say goodbye. I see, she said, and you don't know how. She came closer and hugged him, and hugged me. I hugged her back. Tighter now, she said. An embrace is different from a hug, you know. She said, like a big sister. She whispered in my ear, you will be back. This much I know. I came back all right 19 years later and 19 times after that, but I never saw her again.